Be fearful when others are greedy, and be greedy when others are fearful. That is arguably the best quote that humans have ever seen. It is so simple, yet it has aged so well from pretty much when it was made to now. And if we translate into this to Pokemon, now is the perfect time to be greedy. So, guys, if you are investing in Pokemon and you feel any ounce of worry, I wouldn't be worried at all. The market is pulling back absolutely, but this is the time to be greedy. Guys, when Prismatic Evolutions was absolutely pulling back a couple months ago, did you have time to whine about it? Did you have time to complain? Did you have time to get worried? Or were you buying up Prismatic Evolutions? Because we'll see a pullback, an uprising, a pullback, an uprising over and over again. But if you're not improving every single time, if you're not taking advantage of the situation better and better, you're not improving, you're just sitting in the same spot. So today I'm going to talk about how realistically you have nothing to worry about. Now, I do believe that the market has absolutely tanked. That's not a denial. I don't know why people are acting like the market hasn't pulled back, like pretty much everything has. Like XY boxes are down 25%, Sword and Shield boxes are down about 15%. A lot of Skull and Vibe boxes are down like tons of percent, like 15-20% on their all-time highs. Of course, other boxes are doing well, but we're still seeing pullbacks. So what's really interesting is when you have a market where it does really, really well, you have a lot of loud people who have recently got into the hobby just pump up the market, hype up the market. Now, here's the thing. It's all fun and games when they're hyping up the market and the market is actually doing well. But here's the thing. If you don't base your investments off of any logical explanation, the second it goes down, you start to get worried. Like, I'll give you a good example. If you ever held a stock in a company, let's just say you're given $1,000. If that stock started to send it and done really well, you would hold on to it. You would hold on and see how well it can do. But the second it starts pulling back, you're just going to immediately start thinking about selling it because you don't actually have any reason towards why you bought it. So what happens is if you don't actually have a reason towards why you buy something, when it starts to go down, you're going to start to panic. And there's a lot of new people in the hobby, and this is the first pullback they're experiencing. I remember the first pullback I ever experienced was, I believe, I don't even know. It was somewhere. But it was when all the Sword and Shield alt arts were all tanking. They were absolutely breaking all-time lows. They were doing horrible. And I didn't understand why, so I started to get worried. I started thinking like, oh, what's going on? Now, I was very new in the hobby, so what I've done is I've put myself in the shoes of a lot of my viewers. You guys are brand new to the hobby, and this is one of the first pullbacks you're experiencing. You have nothing to worry about. This is perfectly normal. This is just normal with investing. But this happens with Pokemon. And also, October, a couple years ago, the same month that we're experiencing now, was the same month when all art started to pull back. I have no clue why. You couldn't tell me. I can't explain why, but for some reason October just does not do well when it comes to Pokemon. I just don't understand why. It does start to pick up with Christmas because there's a lot of buying, obviously because of presents and stuff. But yeah, I don't really know why. But for some reason October just has it's done it in the past where it's just Pokemon doesn't do well in October. But anyways, the point is that when there's a pullback, it doesn't matter. There's nothing to be worried about. This is perfectly normal. Now, online, when you see people talk about Pokemon, yeah, Pokemon is the best thing ever. Maybe they just got into from Pokemon from the hype. Maybe they used to, I don't know, play the game or really whatever. But when they get in and it becomes more of an investment thing, then it's all fun and games until it starts pulling back. The reason why is because this doesn't add any value. So it's not like a stock, it's not real estate, it doesn't add value. Realistically, if you hold real estate, me personally, never really held real estate. I am 20, so I don't know why that I have to say it out loud. It's not exactly surprising, but I can't say that if you're holding real estate, you wouldn't be worried if it goes down, but there would be a level where you're thinking, you know what, yes, this is going down, but it's backed by something that's valuable. The dollar signs on my house, it's, yeah, sure, maybe it's pulled back a bit if real estate even pulls back. I'm just pulling this out of my ass. But you have nothing to worry about. Well, somewhat. Once again, I'm kind of pulling this out of my ass, so give me a break. But because there's actual value being added, you can rest easy. Same goes for stocks. If you hold like Apple stocks and it pulls back a bit, okay, I still use an iPhone, I still use a MacBook. People still use iCloud, their services. People still buy from them daily. So it's like, yeah, maybe it's pulling back into whatever. It's not fun when it pulls back, but at the same time, there's something there backing it. What's backing it hasn't changed. But because this is art, it's completely different. It has literally no value. So you're betting on the pop culture and you're betting that this will stay relevant. So if it loses relevance or it loses steam, I understand why you would get worried. However, the people that you see complaining online being fear-mongering. Now, I want to be clear, okay? This investing, community for Pokemon. This is probably just the internet as a whole, but the investing community is just the most toxic like place ever. Probably not as toxic as collectors, to be honest. Collectors are just always pissy for some reason. I really don't know why, but the Pokemon investing like area is just so toxic. And the reason is because if I say I'm holding Paladin Fates over 151, then people feel a personal attack if I am talking about this higher than 151. But the thing is, I'll never win because half as many people are holding more Paladin Fates than 151, so then you can never win, right? So the thing is, online, there are a lot of people making fear-mongering videos. Now, I just want to be clear. Fear-mongering does not mean talking about the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room is that the market has pulled back. That's not fear-mongering. Talking about that is not fear-mongering. What is fear-mongering is saying that it's going to zero. Is saying that it's done for. Is saying that this is it. It's not it, okay? The market's still incredibly strong. I'm going to talk about this in a video or two, but Mega Evolutions is wildly successful. The numbers with Pokemon and the actual popularity with Mega Evolutions is a force to be reckoned with. If Mega Evolutions had the same allocation that other boxes had, I would be willing to bet that it would be extremely expensive. But you know what? Pokemon did a pretty decent job with the supply of Mega Evolutions. If Mega Evolutions had the same supply that Prismatic had when Prismatic came out, I'd be willing to bet Mega Evolution booster boxes would be like $400 or like $500 because it's just such a good set and it's very popular. The set value's through the roof, the top chasers through the roof, everything about it's incredibly popular. So you can't go ahead and be like, oh my goodness, oh the market's done with. No, it's not. This is when you be greedy. This is literally when you be greedy. You be fearful when others are greedy. Think about how many people were saying that now Pokemon is going to become like a new currency. Like how many, I don't want to mention people online, but I've seen videos of extremely wealthy people saying that trading cards is going to become this culture where like you guys talk about like it's going to be like your mum is going to own trading cards, your dad's going to own trading, and everybody loved trading cards for like 2 weeks when it was breaking all-time highs. But the second it's pulled back, everybody stayed quiet. Same as happened with Bitcoin for this example. This is not just Pokemon. This is the market as a whole. Bitcoin was doing absolutely phenomenal. Now that Bitcoin has pulled back a bit, a bunch of people, for the record, I keep up to date with the Bitcoin and stock market, so I can see like what people are thinking across the board, right? Not just Pokemon, but across the board. Oh my goodness, the greed for gold is insane. Oh my goodness, people are glazing gold like I've never seen before. Oh my goodness, have you guys seen? So for anyone who doesn't know, gold is like the only currency right now that is just like absolutely doing phenomenal. Well, technically it's not a currency, but it's investment. It's doing phenomenal. Bitcoin just pulled back a shit ton. Stock market just pulled back a shit ton. Pokemon just pulled back a shit ton. Gold has just done absolutely phenomenal. So what do you think has happened? People have just shitted on Bitcoin. Oh, I knew it was always the second best. Oh, gold will always be better. But the second it's the other way around. Oh my goodness, Bitcoin is the future. And then, oh, gold is in the slums. Gold is old. Gold, you can't transport it. It's very difficult to transport. But then the second Bitcoin goes down, you see, you can hold gold. That's the value. But then once again, the second Bitcoin goes up. Oh, but Bitcoin, you can send across the season. People just bitch and moan, right? People just glaze whatever's going up. It's the same thing with realistically everything. Take AI, for example. How many people said AI will be absolutely revolutionary? Which it, in my opinion, I think it will. But the second AI, people put AI up whenever it came to chess. It did not do good at chess. If you've seen AI play chess, it does not play proper. Like, it can't figure it out. Unless you program it to figure it out, it can't. Like, you can't tell ChatGPT, like, play chess. It, like, literally cheats. It, like, goes across the board. Like, it breaks the rules for anyone who doesn't know. And you see some things get weak for a second, and people immediately switch on it. Oh, I knew it was absolutely terrible. There's no way this will ever work. And the same thing goes for Pokemon. It's not a new concept. Yeah, when something goes down, people immediately hate it, and when something goes up, people immediately love it. If you just zoom out for a second, you look, okay, yeah, it's pulled back. So is everything. The stock market is pulled back. Bitcoin is pulled back. Everything but gold is pulled back. It's not a shocker that this has pulled back. It's not crazy. It's not weird. It's not surprising. Yeah, everything had a massive run up this year. Like, didn't the S&P 500 close like 40 new all-time highs this year, or like 30 new all-time highs, where on the closing price of like the day, then it broke it like 30 times. It was some ridiculous number like that. Like, the amount of growth we've seen, I mean, what was there, what people call it, the Black Swan Monday or something like that in, I think it was January when the tariffs were announced, and then the stock market absolutely sended it, and everybody hated the Bitcoin and stock market, and then the next day when it absolutely sended it back, which was the biggest swing in 2 days for the record with the stock market in all of history, which was pretty cool that we could witness that. I thought that was very cool. But anyways, basically, you could see one day people were shitting on it. Oh, this is a scam. Oh, everything's going to zero. Next day, oh, we're so back. Are you kidding me, dude? It's literally the same with trading cards. This is not a new concept. So be fearful when others are greedy and be greedy when others are fearful. So in this context, be greedy when others are fearful. People are fearful. Now's the time to be greedy. You've wanted Deaths and Rivals. It's pulling back. Buy it. You want Prismatic? Well, too bad. You lost your chance. Okay, Prismatic, I suppose, is like gold. Yeah, gold and Prismatic are the only two items that's up, right? That is a joke. That is a joke. I'm sure there's some other items that are up. I'm sure there's like some like lineups of like, I don't know, watches or something that's up. But like, basically the two main assets I can realistically think of that are realistically up is pretty much just gold and prismatic for like the month. Other than that, everything is getting clapped. But yeah, that's fine. Like, that doesn't matter. This is the time to buy. When prismatic was getting clapped a month or two ago and ETBs were all the way down to 100, what were people saying? People immediately hated on prismatic evolutions. When it gets down, when it's in its lows, people immediately shit on it. And this is not investments. This is just life as a whole. When something is going down, because people think negatively of it, they immediately look at it through a lens and only look at the negatives. For example, prismatic evolutions. Oh my goodness, I always knew prismatic evolutions was shit set. I always knew it'd do bad. It's super bad pull rates. It's not fun to open up. Okay, think about how much of a thrill it is to open up though. Think about when you do pull that cool chase. Think about when you see a rainbow border, is it an EX or is it a $1,000 card? The thrill is insane. So you look at it and it's like, oh, there's always negatives, bad pull rates, but there's all these positives. It's fun. It's got good cards. It's got a good set list. It's all these different things. So if you look at it with a positive lens, you'll only see positives and no negatives. And then if you look at it with a negative lens, you'll only see the negatives and no positives. This is not a new concept. This is not related to Pokemon, humans, stock market, gold, whatever. It's just everything. It's not one specific thing, it's just everything as a whole. And now that we're seeing the market pull back, all the people who have been fear-mongering for many, many months now are going ahead and going, ha, I was right. The market is done for. It's like, no, that's not how it works. Yeah, sure, the market's pulling back, but the market could pull back for 2, 3, 4 more months. On the 5th month, when it recovers, are you going to stay quiet or are you just going to keep bitching and moaning? Yeah. That's all I got for today. Oh, also, lenses also works for YouTube videos. How many times do I mention all my winners? Just going to go out and say it. I'm probably one of the only YouTubers to say it, so I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I think the only other person I can think of is realistically Poke Profits. He made a video literally dedicated to his biggest fails, so respect to him for that. But what about all the fails I've made? I don't mention those. And now, realistically, there's not many of them. Realistically, the only fail I can realistically think of is I held off from buying Decimal's booster boxes because I was hoping to just wait, which was just stupid. I bought them. I got like 7 at $200, but I could have gotten way more. And I was saying like I'm just gonna wait, which was just stupid. I wasn't waiting for it to get cheaper. I was just waiting because I didn't want dead money. But that's just the stupidest mentality. It just doesn't fly in this day and age. You kind of just got to buy the box and just put up with it being in print for a good couple of years. It's just, I guess that's how you make money in this hobby. But think about it. My videos, every single time, if you hate my videos, you will remember every single, maybe small detail that I said was incorrect. I mean, how many people comment on videos, there's not many of them, but they just point at every single thing and they go, this is incorrect, and not mention the 50 other things I was correct. Or if you really like my videos, you'll go, man, this guy, he's absolutely phenomenal. I mean, I a lot of time whenever I recall plays, I only mention successful plays. Now, I'm not doing that because I'm like hiding away all these horrible plays. Realistically, in the Pokemon market, it's really freaking hard to be wrong. If you're positive on everything, realistically, it's hard as shit to be wrong. However, I can still be wrong here or there, and I don't talk about them. And that's not because I'm being secretive about it. That's just how videos work. If I'm talking about good spirits and I'm talking about, guys, let's buy this Prismatic Evolutions Desperos. I'm looking at Prismatic Evolutions Desperos. Man, guys, do you remember when I told you guys to sell that specific item and I absolutely sent it? Or I don't know, something like that. Realistically, I don't think that's ever happened, but I'm just trying to make a point here, so work with me. It happens with my videos. It happens with everything. It happens with your friends. It happens with everything. You look at the negatives when you put on a negative lens, and you look at the positives when you look at the positive lens. Bitcoin and gold constantly having beef is like the best example. Once again, I'm just going to quit in the video, but I'm just going to say this. When Bitcoin goes up, it's so good. It's the best thing ever because you can send it overseas for $1. It's non-audited. It's no regulation. Cool. Then when gold goes up and Bitcoin goes down, gold, you can actually hold it. It has a long history of being valuable. It beats inflation. cool. But it's like, no matter what, it's not even which one is better. It's just which one is, how good is one doing on a certain day that you make the post about it. If I'm going to make a video about which one is better, buying Bitcoin or gold, most of the time, well, I'm not going to, but most of the time, people would just look at the sentiment towards it in the last couple of years. If Bitcoin absolutely gets clapped for 2 years, how many people just go ahead and say, see, I knew it was the shittest thing ever, and then it absolutely takes off, and they go, oh man, Bitcoin hits the future. Like, that is crazy. Same thing goes to gold as well. Gold doesn't get as much slander, but it also doesn't get glazed as much because I actually I have no idea why. I suppose Bitcoin has more potential gains, so people just naturally gravitate towards something that has better potential, so then they glaze it more because they want it to go up. Whereas gold is kind of like its own thing. It doesn't need someone to explain it. It doesn't need someone to praise it. It's just a day one. It's literally. So yeah, I don't know how we got into the conversation of Bitcoin and gold, but how the item is doing is people's sentiment towards it. If it's doing good that day, it's positive. If it's doing bad that day, it's negative. Yeah, that's going to do it for today's video, guys. Thanks for watching.